Okay, so I'm going to just show a little tip on, it's sort of a workflow, the integration of Google Drawings, Google Forms, and how you can have students be collaborating on brainstorming ideas and then moving it into forms where they make a selection. One instance might be for reading a book. So you create a Google Drawing. You click on share with your students, and hopefully you have a group of your students where you could share to the group where they can all edit and send them a little note. I've already done that, so I'm going to cancel and hit done. But so everybody has access to this. Now, again, it's a collaborative document. You want to make sure they're not all writing over each other. So you might have smaller groups for different books or one might do settings, and one group might do characters. So here we're going to enter the characters of the book and ask everyone to choose a shape. And so that once they have a shape, ask them to pick a color that's different. Hopefully all the colors aren't taken, but pick a color that they might want, and then you double click and you write the character. Let me see who's another character, Prince Aeschylus. So I'm just gonna, I haven't recalled the book, so let's Aeschylus. Is that right? Okay, so now another thing you might do is ask students to make connections within the characters. So you could say who are like sort of like enemies, or who are family, connected. So by clicking on actually this little curved connector, see these little circles, you can actually connect like that. So there's a connection there. So you might ask them to make different connections. But the next step we're going to do, say we have all the characters of the novel. The quick, really fun thing is if you highlight all this and copy it, and you've created a Google sheet, and I've called it data, and you can simply paste it in. And there's the list. Now, what I had to do, and I'll figure this out soon, is it's adding a row in between each character, and I'm not sure why. So what I did, I actually entered them here, and I removed the row. I'll work on that and send it on the next tip. Now, I didn't make this idea up. I actually learned it from watching a video from Jay Atwood. So I give Jay full credit, and I'm actually going to probably ask him how he got rid of those rows. So here we have the sheet. Now what we want to do is say we want students to select a character, or they may have, if you've done setting as well, you might have, the other group, you would add the settings in here. Say we're having a play. We want students to choose their character they would like to act out, or if they're working on the set, maybe the setting that they'd like to create. So I'm going to create a Google form. And here in Forms, create form. And again, you name and require them to be part of your school domain, but for now, I'm not going to do that. And so I'm just going to say play selections, and here just give the information. Please select your character and or setting you'd like to work on to create, whatever. Okay, so now here we have is character, but I don't want to have to enter by hand each one of those characters. So there's a really cool little add-on called Form. Let's see, get add-on. Come on. Here we go. So add-ons are really amazing. It's not Form Limiter, Form Ranger. Is it Form Ranger? Let's see. Populate. Yes, Form Ranger. So I'm going to populate the list, that question, from a list I already have in Sheets. So you have to give it, accept it, give permission to connect Form Ranger, and see now, once it's done that, okay, there we are, and it will automatically open it up the first time right there. Otherwise, if you go to add and then here start, so I'm going to hit start. And let's see, come on. There we go, it's loading. And it's going to try and find questions that I've made that are multiple choice that it might populate. So under characters, which is, that's that question, it's going to populate it from, let's see if I can make a new list, select. So new values list, no. It's going to help me find my list. Which sheet, which data. Come on. Here we are. There's my spreadsheets. Play selections right there. So, but it's the data. It's Romeo and Juliet data sheet. So I'm going to hit select, and it's sheet 1, and it actually found characters. It found the list. I'm going to hit next, and you want to give that list a name. So I'm just going to call it characters list, and then save and populate the question. Now, if you have several questions, and you might have them all, like if I had settings, the same way, I would add settings. I haven't done that yet, but I would go back to my brainstorming, have students do that, create this column the same way, and pull it from, using Form Ranger, pull it into my, my question, my form. Now I'm going to close Form Ranger. Oh, look. Repopulate it upon form submit. Now I don't want to repopulate the question each time, so I'm going to close that. Now one thing, I only want students to sign up for one character, and it's first come first serve. So I'm going to do another add-on called Choice Eliminator, which is a really nice little tool as well right here, Choice Eliminator. And I'm going to add it free. This was made by Bjorn on Vermont, and it's a pretty cool tool. I've used it for signups as well, because it eliminates that a specific option that they've chosen. So here we are, add-ons, and I'm going to do choice. I'm going to start Choice Eliminator. And I'm going to load the question. Again, if I had several questions in here, I could just choose the questions I wanted. And it is character. I'm going to eliminate the choices as people select them. I'm going to hit save. And there, I think it already saved it. So I'm going to close that. So I think I have both running, the Form Ranger and the Choice Eliminator. Now, again, the one thing that I've done, I don't want to have to, well, I could click Automatic Collect, and I'll just fill it in myself. So, and you could also only allow one response per person. So it requires a login. So I could select that as well. But once they choose it, it's going to be, they're going to eliminate their choice. So here we go. So I'm signed in. It's going to collect my data, and I want to be, of course, not Juliet, but say I wanted to be the nurse. Not very exciting. And send me a copy of my response. No, I'm just going to hit submit. So there we go. I've asked that one. Now let's see what the sheet does. So I selected it. So now it's, I could only do it once. And here I am. There we go. It selected me as the nurse, and it will populate this. Again, it collected my username automatically, because I chose that from my domain. But you could, if you're using, again, forms, people that aren't in your domain, you could just add a name and email field as well. So I hope that's a tip that works for you. And if you have any questions, let me know.